Malaysian game development studio Weyrdworks has been a mainstay of the Malaysian gaming industry, with co-founders Sean Beck and JT Yin playing key roles in the growth of the indie game development scene. Recently, Weyrdworks posted a 4-part series of their internal mid-year reviews, which involved an internal survey among their employees. For transparency, the findings were published in full on the company's website. To gain a better perspective on Weyrdworks' thought process behind this exercise, IGN Southeast Asia reached out to the company, including their employees and co-founders.
Tell us more about the evaluations that you guys did.
The evaluation thing for the company, there's this Google form Sean posted up on the Discord channel, and then it's basically just like a bunch of questions, answer how you feel based on them.
And it's basically just asking us like, how is your work? How do you feel like the work is it challenging and things like that, and then the work-life balance and things like that. And if we answer like it's not that challenging, then he will try to find as much work as possible, or push us more into it. But otherwise, yeah, it's basically like telling us our concerns and things like that. And it's not just concerns of like our bosses, but the people around us as well. It gives us a perspective to the bosses of like, what things need to be like lessened and things like that. And they try to encourage you as much as possible.
There was no fear in holding myself back and I want to be polite. Maybe I shouldn't say this, or it will disrupt my work. Maybe it will affect how the bosses see me. They do emphasize like, if that is how you feel, I think you should write that down. Working with them, I don't have that kind of like stepping on eggshells feeling. I have a sense of security that I can voice out my opinion. Even if it's not agreed with, it will be discussed without biasness.
We have like the one-on-one session, and the one-on-one session is more like the bosses are acknowledging like how you're doing in this company right now. Like, are you facing problems? Are you being overworked? So it's really nice to know that they care for you and like they're looking out.
Like what everyone has mentioned, the one-on-one, so you can like speak your mind. And that is something I think not all companies would allow or maybe be okay with. Mostly honesty here. Like, I've not really lied, not really kept anything. I've been always, just straightforward with my bosses.
There was some part of it was like expressing gratitude, because back then there were some times where I was like in the midst of my own depression kind of thing. And also they would like give me like the day off or the week off at one point, because like the depression kind of thing was like, oh. And so like, oh yeah, just take the week off to like recover and everything, come back fresh and everything. Yeah, which is great. Paid leave for like depression. It's good time. Not a good time, the depression. I mean like, the boss is great. That's what I mean.
It is a work in progress. It's not something that happens overnight. As the survey was just not really, it wasn't actually really that long ago. Currently, our bosses are actually working on implementing changes. Though, admittedly, I don't really feel too many of the changes, because the survey really wasn't like related to like offsite related. So it's really more for the employees like in this environment. So yes, I think that Weyrdworks has successfully done it. We have a setup like this right here. Personally, I feel like really included.
It's not commonplace for game developers to provide valuable insight into their businesses in a transparent and honest manner. Such an approach is a breath of fresh air amid negative perceptions plaguing the video game industry, including crunch culture and overwork.
So I would say it's because of the crunch culture or business people that doesn't understand how game development works. So Weyrdworks, what's so different about it is that our CEOs are both game developers. One is an artist and one is a programmer, and they know what to do like in terms of like designing our timeline on what we need to be done, and to take on the client's expectations on like what we can do, what we can't.
I've noticed that over here, it's possible to like delay the game further thing. And like, yeah, Sean and JT, they would just choose to delay the release further and further back. And then also, we all have this morning sync thing, so we can always just like update each other like, oh yeah, so he helped me with the thing, and it's like, oh yeah, I helped him with the thing. And what we did together. There is no like, oh, my work will go unrecognized because I work on this site, on this project with you. Like now, everyone's work is like quite well recognized all around. Yeah, which is good.
We're allowed to exercise our own freedom in providing ideas and our own source of input for the company. We're really highly encouraged to voice out, speak to people around the office discuss, bring out ideas, present ideas to the boss. Like, they really welcome our feedback and input. They want to see us have a bit in our projects that we work.
It does feel that if you do want to find a job in the game industry in Malaysia, you do have to come over to Klang Valley. That is the reason why I do think that it is a bit better if the industry does head in the direction of accommodating for staff who want to work remotely. It will allow the industry to include more people.
Heard a lot of stories and like how the CEOs don't actually see you as a person but more as a worker, so that's kind of like a red flag. Gaming industry in Malaysia is it's still growing. It's not that it's not there, but it's still growing. So there's not much attention on it. Also, I heard like there's a lot of sexism in this industry. So gotta point that one out.
I would say that since I've joined this company, I've become more confident. I've been able to speak my mind more often. Yeah, this is probably the first startup that I've been to that has like these kinds of open culture. Almost helped me excel in my work. It's not often you get to hear gratitude from your bosses, especially for the work you do.
So what advice do you have for other heads of companies that want to try this out?
I think the situation is different for every company, how big they are. We are still a small company, so we have this advantage where we can talk to everyone. We have time for everyone at the moment. If it's a larger company, it's going to be different. Right?
Yeah, I don't think we are in any position to give any advice. We're still learning. Like JT said, whatever we do may not work for them. So I wouldn't really give any advice. We're probably not there yet, so we're still working on it. Communication is the key. So first step to that, the underlying virtue would be to be honest to the team, and hopefully you get that reciprocated.
I would say it's still a work in progress, but seeing from where we started to what we are right now, it's a big difference. Seeing where we are right now, like how we are able to incorporate somebody working remotely seamlessly, like Tim, for example. It's nice to see how we've gotten solid over the years now.
As we can see, through this exercise, Weyrdworks is leading by example. We hope that more Malaysian and Southeast Asian studios take this initiative for a healthier workplace.